All right, so welcome to episode 2 of Opinion Watch. So how Opinion Watch works is usually I will start with a video that is called "What is your opinion on X character, map, game mode, etc., etc." And then whilst I give my opinion in that video, that comment section is used as like a forum or a thread. I gather your comments and we start talking about it. So obviously we're in episode 2. This video will be reading your opinions on Genji. So let's get started. Let's have a healthy, respectful discussion. And let me give you my insight as somebody who's been top 500 with the character back in Overwatch 1, and now I'm in a coaching role and helping out others climb. So starting off, I'm going by the top comments, I believe. So here we are. And as always, so Aku starts with the only hero who gets shafted because his player base actually puts in the effort. Yeah, I would say this is true. I would maybe argue that this also applies for Wrecking Ball and maybe Doomfist, but Doom isn't necessarily that bad. He just suffers from armor right now. So good take, very good take. Johnny Guard 7454 says, Genji used to be self-reliant, however, I never stopped seeing him without a Mercy or Ana pocket. I used to think his cooldown reset after a kill was annoying, but after personally trying to play him in plat, I know it's literally a breadcrumb. He's okay, but he definitely needs a buff because he's daunting to pick up. Personally, not my go-to pick, but everybody should be allowed to enjoy the heroes. I mean, Sombra and Sim, literally the antithesis to Genji. But I know when a character is OP and in a bad situation. Hopefully the tank changes help Genji. Good luck to the Genji mains. I'll be posting more videos like this. Well, Johnny, I will be continuing this trend if it performs well. And so far, I'm very happy with the reception on this one. And this is a very good take. This is a really good take, and sadly the only reason you will see him with that Mercy and Ana pocket is that is the only time, like when he's being enabled by Ana, Mercy, Juno, Brigitte, those are the only times he can actually feel strong. Definitely Ana and Mercy are the more go-to explosive playstyle picks, but for more of the mid-fight type control, you really like to have the Juno, you like to have the Brigitte. I could go on about how those characters enable him really well. Lots of people don't really talk about how some other characters enable Genji, but it's all right. It's all right. Good take. Very good take. Moving on to the next top comment, we got Graphite Blimp 27. So he was saying, oh wow, this is a big comment. So Genji was my favorite hero for many reasons. Could go on forever why, but I've also gotten over 500 hours on the hero. So first I'd go back to Overwatch 1 in the sense of 6v6 HP pools, reining in all the wacky abilities, and then 28 damage shurikens, interesting, 120 damage blade, revert blade speed to the original, change ammo to 24, ooh, this is something. Increase reload speed by 10-15% or allow animation to be cancelled. A change to Ana is that Nano Boost now only does 25% damage increase for ultimates and still does 50% for regular attacks. That is a very interesting way to perhaps approach Ana's Nano Boost, although perhaps it could be a little bit of a coding challenge for the Blizzard developers, but this would be interesting to go through with. Now Graphite, I would love to read your entire comment, and I did read it, but for the sake of the video and not drawing it out too long, I will scroll through it. But I did read this. I hearted it for a reason. Usually when I heart something, it's because I've read it, I agree with the opinion, and this was a very, very good take. So to those of you that want to read this take, it's over here on your screen right now. He goes on to explain a lot of good things, and for a 6v6 setting, this is actually very good. Don't know if I agree with the 24 ammo though, but outside of that, it's a good take, really good take. So this person, Artan, is okay, I cannot say that name, but you are in the video. So as a certified Genjiman, I say I love everything about him lore wise and gameplay wise. His unique gameplay that makes me want to play this game, and his personality complements his gameplay. That is very true. I agree. He has great patience over world events. He's kind and smart. Very true. His playstyle is my favorite. Wait for the right moment, strike with fury and precision. That is true. I love doing that with him. And I think all the risk of his gameplay make him even greater as a character. You have to be smart, have aim and patience, and it's not because his design is bad, but because the devs can tweak numbers on tanks right, or they add support of the support with free get out jail free cards that can beat him in a 1v1. Nowadays we have 180 HP value, Ananade, Suzu 6 second. Yeah, honestly, like I think I see where you're going with this, and I agree with you. I think a lot of the the state of Genji right now is a little bit awkward. I won't lie though, I will say the 225 HP changes have helped him quite a bit. I can't, I try to be as fair as possible. Like any indirect nerfs that is indirectly buffing Genji is always a good thing. So the 225 on a lot of characters is really helping with breakpoints. So I'm very happy with those changes. And yeah, so you say that the maximum tweaks you'll want is reverting blade to 120/0.9 from 110/0.7. I believe this is the speed of the swing, if I'm not mistaken, and revert all the season 9 changes. I think a lot of us would really appreciate if we could revert all the season 9 changes. I don't think there's any I don't think I think the older generation of Overwatch would love to go back to season 9, like the changes before that, kind of go from there. But I think, unfortunately, there's been a lot of positive reception to the season 9 changes from the newer Overwatch community. And I kind of hate to be the one to say it, but it does seem like they pander to them a lot more than the older audience, which is ridiculous. And sadly, I believe the season 9 changes will be sticking around, so we should start balancing around that. But I digress. That's a video topic for another day. Anyways, so the buff that Genji really needs are dash bug fixes, some I assume ledge grab bug fixes, and 30 damage on the left leg. Okay, so definitely needs the bug fixes. I don't know if anybody else has been noticing it lately, but at the moment, Genji's wall climb is really bad, right? I don't know if it's just me, but wall climb feels really bad. So if let me know your experience with wall climb. Dash is okay. Dash really just feels like a patch per patch situation. On some patches it's fine, on other patches you get that like bug where after a dash you kind of freeze in place. I really don't like that. 30 damage on left click, no, sorry, I say this, I adore this hero. I have so many hours on this character, been playing him for 8 years. 30 damage is way too much. Even I know this much. I think 28 or 29 would be the perfect, place to go. But trust me, 28 would be more than enough, especially now that, characters are coming down to 225. They are kind of messing around with the balance. So I don't think I'll agree with 30. 30 was extremely broken back when it came out. But you know what? I appreciate that you actually gave a different take. So do that, you get a heart. Afterthought 9538 says, I'm a GM Hanzo. Oh, Lord, this is long. Okay, you know what? You put in some effort. I'm going to read this out. I'm a GM Hanzo player, but I've done a ton of time on Genji as well. Genji seems to have this issue where it's difficult to tune him without breaking him. Okay, so I know this seems to be the consensus or the general thoughts that go around about the character, but I would disagree. I would say that you can definitely tune him without breaking him. There's ways to do it. It has been done before, and it is achievable. So, this is where I'll just throw in my comment in that regard. You go on to say, just turn one knob and all of a sudden he's OP. I wouldn't, again, like I said, I wouldn't necessarily say you can turn one thing. Like if tomorrow they made his shuriken damage 28, I promise to you, it's not going to make him OP. I feel like what happens is people jump on like this bandwagon that just because a character or somebody has gotten a number change, it is immediately overpowered without actually assessing like, what was the objective? Like if the character is now properly securing kills that he's meant to secure, does that make him OP or does that mean that he can actually do his job, right? So like the average player is just gonna jump on this like weird bandwagon where they believe that, well, so that's just my thoughts on that. I think people just, immediately jump on a bandwagon where they're like, well, now he's doing his job and that's not good. So we have to kind of understand, where is that healthy middle ground, and I do believe it is the 28 damage shuriken, which is what he's had since the beginning of Overwatch, and he was still pretty mid, right? But it just helps the hero feel better. So you're going to say, in the case of Genji, in the close range duel where he excels, higher damage equal higher potential, higher rate of fire equal higher consistency. Okay, look, I know there's been some suggestions by other content creators in particular who said that if we increase his fire rate, he'll be much more consistent. I will respectfully disagree because of the way his 3 shurikens work. And if you're increasing the rate of fire, that also means that the amount of shurikens that can now miss goes up. If you get what I'm trying to say, what I basically mean is that there's more chances that because you're shooting so much more faster, the window for you missing also goes higher, right? Because like having to adjust to different like fire rates can be quite difficult. I don't know, maybe the higher rate of fire could be the change that he needs, but I just don't see it. I personally think it is the damage that he needs help in. So I'm going to say buffing his damage without touching his rate of fire breaks him. Again, respectfully disagree over there. Because then his consistency is never considered, hence why I thought of the following changes. HP goes down to 225. Yeah, he definitely needs to go down to 225. I don't know why he's still 250. I mean, I do know why, but yeah. If Genji was actually good in his potential, match the amount of skill needed to use him, he honestly should be at 225. True. However, if Hanzo gets his 125 damage back, he can remain at 250. Shuriken's primary damage increase 27 to 29. No. Like why does everybody want to jump to 29? Like why don't we go back to 28? Like legit what he started with. It won't be too OP and it won't be too bad either. It'll just help him feel a little bit more stronger without becoming OP. I think 29 with the bigger projectile sizes might be too much, right? Maybe in a, like if we go back to 200 HP and things are different and the shurikens are smaller, then yeah, sure, I can see 29 working. But I think 28, like, can we please go back to 28 and see where we go from there, right? So regardless, I'm gonna let you cook, my guy. I'm gonna let you cook. Damage again 29 on both shurikens. Rate of fire slightly reduced. That's perfectly fine. In my experience playing as Genji, when the RFF was slow, it was never a problem. When what I mind is the loss of damage. Yes, thank you. So you hit the nail on the coffin. I prefer higher potential at the cost of more consistency. Exactly. Because the thing about Genji is like you need that one combo and that's it. You don't need to do more, right? Like being consistent with shurikens doesn't matter when the character's like strength is combos, right? So I agree with this. In my experience playing against Genji, never mind the damage, the rate of fire was the more frustrating part. At least with a combo, you earn it, no mindless spam. True. So they actually, if you guys have noticed, like they've been going down this path with a lot of the characters. Like they've been trying to turn more and more characters to mindless spammers, and the reason for that is, again, I hate to be the one to say it, but it's because of the newer player base. They want the characters to be easier, so keeping the rate of fire stronger, and not the damage, just kind of, it's like, well, if I keep spamming, I'll get something out of it. You know, that's kind of why I don't want the rate of fire buffed. It's not the right direction. And in my opinion, like if the rate of fire gets buffed, I personally feel it takes away his skill expression, because combos is all about landing that right combo and becoming good at it. And like a playstyle centered around like high rate of fire means that you're just spamming and hoping for the best, which I'm personally not a fan of. So yeah, so it was no problem, blah, 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 at least with combo, yeah. I don't think 28 damage is enough considering the heating the game. No, I fundamentally agree. I also don't think 28 damage is enough, but like our goal shouldn't be to break the hero. It should be to like slowly move him up, right? But like let people get adjusted and then see what happens to the surrounding game, right? Because that's sadly the kind of the world that we live in with the game balance right now, because they'll never nerf supports. Like this is the harsh reality. They're never gonna nerf supports the way that they should. 29 I feel is perfect to be able to cut through healing even with a slight nerf to the fire rate. Again, I'm open-minded to it. Look, I'm not gonna complain about 29 DPS shurikens because I knew how to be a monster with 29. All right, 29 you could do so much, right? I just believe 28 is a good middle ground because I know they will never take us back to 29, and if they do, I'll be very surprised. So Dragon Blade reverted to how it was before, adjusted its number to account for the HP changes. Yeah, I think that's fine. I don't think Nanoblade was a problem because of its damage. I think the more frustrating thing was the damage reduction. I feel like that doesn't get talked about enough, like Nano's ability to give you a damage reduction, which reduces the, you know, window to counterplay the character that's coming in. So you're going to say that Nano's the ultimate that shouldn't be reworked in a meaningful way. That should be reworked in a meaningful way that makes it still a good ult. I agree. I agree. I feel like Nano is the issue and not Dragon Blade, because if we're having to adjust every other ultimate in the game to account for one character's ultimate, I think that says more about that one character's ultimate and not the others. And it's kind of stupid, right? You should let other characters have individual strength in their individual kit whilst not relying so much on, well, I really hope Mayana nanos me and not the Mercy that she thinks would make for a funny clip. So that's the thing. So Nano, you say, so okay, so you actually suggest some Nano changes. So you say damage reduction is built based on damage del. Ooh, this is interesting. Oh, this is a very interesting thing. So, or damage reduction falls over time. Yeah, okay. I would like this. I think this would be a lot more reasonable, right? Because you want Nano starting to be stronger, and then like as Nano is wearing off, it can kind of make sense, like the target's losing power. So I think this would be really cool. Alternatively, damage reduction removed, resets all non-movement cooldowns. 10% speed was granted. Ooh, interesting. That's very interesting. I'd love to see what you think about these, and I can't wait until you have the Hanzo one too. Yeah, definitely gonna get around to Hanzo as well. Very interesting takes. Like this was a very, very thoughtful discussion. I really enjoyed it. Spot on takes, man. Who was this again? Afterthought. Really, really cool ideas in here. Okay, so Ben Max goes on to, oh, this is a long comment too. All right, man, you guys are so passionate. It's really nice to see. Ben Max goes on to say, I'm usually around the middle of T500 NA. Hey, man, congratulations on that. And here are a few suggestions. Fix a few bugs with the hero. Okay, you know, definitely agree. There's also like a lot of visual bugs, like only one set of shurikens being gold, and okay, thank God somebody else actually noticed this too. I thought I was going crazy because of playing this game for 8 years. Blade cheating twice. Yeah, this is something they definitely need to look into. It happens a lot. There's actually certain skins where it happens more frequently, I would say. I'd like Blade to be a slightly better ult on its own without combos for sure. Maybe a faster draw. and sheath time, or let Genji quick melee during Blade. This would be interesting. I think if Genji had like a second move with Blade where quick melee allowed you to do a different type of slash, or maybe like that PvE, you know, a move where you shoot out like a Dragon Blade projectile, that would actually be really cool, right? Like I think it would be really sick, and it would give the hero a little bit more option as he engages. Granted, I think it would make the hero a little bit easier depending on how you go about it. But yeah, so let Genji's dash be on a 3-second cooldown during Blade instead of refreshing dash. Oh man, I think this would remove a lot of fun to play aspects from the character, but I see why you'd want to go about it. Or maybe the second swing in a combo does more damage than the first. This would be interesting. Like, this would be cool. Like, if you're committing to a target more often, then your blade is more powered. That's a very interesting idea. So you can 2-hit 225 HP heroes without changing Nano Blade breakpoints for 250 HP, while also making it easier to cut through healing. I just want to be able to fight Ventures and Tracers on even ground. Okay, I will say it's not that bad to dual Tracers. Like, there's like ways to deal with Tracer. I can definitely do a video on it. Granted, I don't know too many top 500 Tracer players, but just some general advice. But Venture can be a nightmare. I personally believe Venture's HP really needs to come down to 225. But in a 1v1 feels basically impossible to win against him. No, I know what you're talking about. I agree. What I would like for Genji is a slightly tighter spread. Yes, exactly. Thank you. That would also be really good, because then he's always getting max value from shurikens. Another problem with Genji is like he's almost, you know, 30% of the time will he ever land all 3 shurikens, and then when targets are moving around, you're never hitting all 3. So tightening the shurikens even further is technically a net buff, because that means because you're always hitting all 3 shurikens, or more often than not hitting 3 shurikens, your damage is higher, and that's something he desperately needs. So, you know, interesting take here. Number 4, if Genji is getting moved to 225 HP, I don't think so. If they do move him to 225 HP and they don't buff him, it's gonna be crazy. I'd like a slightly faster wall climb, or maybe a 7-second dash cooldown with dash movement being faster. I don't think he would need that, but I can see why you would want it. Also, why is Juno's double jump better than Genji's? I'd prefer both to be the same. Well, to be fair, the reason Juno's double jump is a little bit more better is because she's a pathetic duelist. Like, Juno's potential to once you do isolate her, once you do lock her down, it is really difficult for her to win that 1v1. Definitely try playing Juno yourself and get a feel for it. You'll begin to understand like why a certain character may need something like that, and then another character needs something else. It really helps out the situation. So you're going to say, all in all, I don't think it would be enough to make Genji broken, but enough to make the hero more consistent. For sure, I think that's an interesting take. A nerf to 225 for slightly better movement speed and dash would still be one of the weaker movement abilities in the game. Better blade without messing up Nano Blade breakpoints for 250, and more consistent shuriken damage against faster heroes without increasing his damage or changing breakpoints. If it's not enough, maybe buying a new ability that does something. Maybe it's an AoE swing. Yeah, so like again, like the PvE Dragon Blade could shoot out projectiles. I think that would be really cool. But I don't see that happening. They clearly don't care that much about the hero. Like, they've shown it time and time again. I'm not trying to start a witch hunt or badmouth the devs. I really don't care about it to that extent where I want to flame them, but I do think they should show some more care towards the hero. I know this a lot in terms of suggestions which 3 people will read, but keep in mind I've done nothing but consume knowledge and hone my aim to try and improve every single day at this hero for the past 3 years. And if I'm struggling to stay on top of 100, I cannot imagine how hard it is for other people. Only content creator I know of still posting Genji content consistently is Hiku. There are still a few that rarely post. Niachu is very very good. Tap Water, Harmless Spoke, you, me, even Necros hasn't posted Genji stuff in a bit. Many other Genji creators quit entirely. Man, this is depressing, because I know exactly what you're talking about. Shadow 2 Ricardo level uplifting more. Despite Genji still being one of the most popular heroes in the game, there's almost no high level Genji content left. If this isn't a gigantic sign that the hero needs changes, I don't know what it is. No, I fully agree. I actually wanted to talk about this topic for a while, that the Genji content creators are leaving / are gone. Granted that there are new ones on the rise. So like, you know, Hiku is definitely the standout. I love Hiku, love his content, I think he's amazing. There's also, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the name of the creator is Slushy, but it's like everybody like we're small. Like, it's not like we're anybody big like Necros or Shadow 2K or Aricado. So I agree with you. I think there should be a sign that, hey, you know, like people that care about these characters are going away, especially Necros. Like, Necros was somebody who would never want you to get off Genji. Like, you'd see Aricado, Shadow play some other characters, but Necros was like religiously playing Genji, right? And you saw him now, he just doesn't care about Overwatch. He's found that same you know, drive in like two other games, Deadlock and Marvel Rivals, which I fully understand. I enjoy both the Deadlock and Marvel Rivals as well, because again, that like rush you're getting from playing some of the characters in those games is what Genji used to give you, and now it's really not there, which is a big problem, right? So I really hope Blizzard looks into it. So Lucigo 8888 Overwatch says the following. Also, hi Lucigo, how are you doing? Hope you're doing well. I'm so sorry that post for you went south. You made an amazing points that I might actually talk about it in a YouTube video. So I really like Genji. As of currently, Genji is my second most praised DPS, only behind the most obvious one, of course. I love his character. His development from Blackwatch to being with Zen with Overwatch 2 was done. I love him. Balanced him. I think he's okay. I agree. I think he's also pretty okay. Only have two things I do to him. 20 damage Shuriken is very good. And make so Blade can give him dash reset at the start of the animation instead of the end. The second one is more of a big wish of mine to make Blade even more fluid than it is. Overall, Genji is amazing. Sorry for the laser point. Yeah, I get it. Don't worry about it, man. I was there. I saw the timeline. Lucigo, don't worry about it. It was a bit of a mess, but you know, you were right. Like your take was spot on, and people just completely missed it. But your ideas and changes to, you know, Genji is pretty cool. So 28 damage Shurikens, I think this is the best middle ground that we'll ever get for the character, and make it so that Blade gives him the dash reset at the start of the animation instead of the end. Lucigo, if you're watching this video, can you please break this down, because I don't think I understand. Maybe I'm just a bit tired and sleepy. I had a long day myself, but you know, maybe if I was on 3 cups of caffeine, I might be able to, my brain might have understood what you're saying here. But you know what, I will say one thing, guys, like there's a lot of comments. I'm definitely not going to be able to get to everybody because I do have some work to do after this. I will say that thank you so much for a lot of the positive responses. I love the fact that almost all of you are giving completely different ideas. It shows that there's a lot of passion. So let me squeeze in a few more. I'm gonna do a little bit more of the shorter comments. So if you got a bit of a longer comment, I'm terribly sorry. I can definitely get to you in a live stream in the coming weekend. We can talk about it on the live stream. But for now, I'm gonna go through some of the shorter comments. Okay. So and most of you guys do have like mirroring ideas and mirroring opinions with other people. So I will be kind of, you know, going through others, so I'm able to squeeze in as many people as possible. So as a support player, I'll be honest, Genji's a pain in my ass, but every hero should be fun and strong, so I hope they give him the buff he needs. So readily available Chomper. Oh my god, dude, it's the planets and zombies plan. Okay, so I know you're a support player, and I'm gonna say this respectfully. So Genji, yeah, he can definitely be annoying. I fully understand, but I would say in the support role, there is a lot of answers to him now, and you can definitely deal with them much better now than ever before. So you're right, every hero should be fun and strong. I don't want him to be broken. So here's the thing, right? I want him to be, like, not okay, but good. I want him to be good. He has a weakness, he has a strength, and that's where he is, right? That's all I want. I don't want him to be broken, because usually when you suggest changes, people think you want your character to be utterly broken and dominate lobbies. No. I don't want that. I can do that. I don't need Genji to be overly broken to be able to do that. I just need him to be good, not okay, not middle of the pack, or like a C tier pick, especially for the investment that he takes, right? So Willie Player, you're going to say Genji can be very strong, but you need the player. You need to be a player that mains him at a high level. I've seen Masters and GM players stomp with Genji. Anybody else is bad against no value strong friendly newcomers. He needs a slight buff. Okay, you know, interesting take. I miss the Genji and Mercy interactions. They're so cute. My name is Reaper. Dude, I agree with you. I miss them too. Thumbs up for that. I miss them a lot. I think it's really upsetting that there is a clear bias on the new writing team, not just the one that got fired, but also the current writing team and the new head. They clearly have their favorites. I don't necessarily agree with some of their direction with the voice lines, so it's a little bit annoying. I might talk about it in the future, but it's not that deep. At the end of the day, they're fictional characters. But I will say, I think Genji and Mercy, how is it that we're like 15, 16, 20 seasons deep and these two don't have an interaction? At this point, it's beginning to get really annoying. So really hope we can get something for Genji and Mercy, for the lore and ship lovers out there, myself included. Bit silly that they don't have anything. So Myon, I butchered your name, but I hope, you know, I'm reading your comments, so I hope you check this out. I loved hearing your thoughts on Genji. I really gravitated towards him because I'm a big Sentai and Metal Gear fan. Hey, same here. Big Sentai and Rider fan. Haven't really checked out Metal Gear yet, but I know it has a really fun cyborg character over there. One of the characters remind me of Gear is Grey Fox. Yeah, exactly. I know about Grey Fox. With his movements deflect and most importantly, the assassination potential. But the biggest thing is his combos. Coming from a fighting game background, it really resonates with me how addicting his combos can be. Exactly, dude. The combos for me are everything on Genji. They're so fun to do. They're so fun to play. I love this character. I agree. He needs just 20 shurikens as he's in a better spot. He's in a way better spot. I agree. Thumbs up. So you get a thumbs up, and I already heard this comment when I was reading it last night. So remember when the best of the best Genji players could wipe the floor? Pepper is farmers. Yeah, man, good times. Sadly, we don't have anything good going for us. Okay, we're gonna read a few more comments and then we're gonna call it here. All right. Definitely gonna try and avoid the bigger ones. So Dub Slasher says, one problem I see with Genji partly has to do with aesthetics. Like, he's a cyborg ninja. Why doesn't he have armor? His entire body was specifically rebuilt to make him more durable. And what is the most memeable thing about him? I need healing. Ninja means to preserve, and yet Genji fails in this department. Don't get me started with the reloading shurikens. Him and Keiko have ammo downtime. Meanwhile, Hanzo has infinite ammos. Why? He already has DPS downtime for every 3 shurikens he throws, and there's slower projectiles at that. And then there's his blade. You see it in cinematics cutting through giant omnic arms like butter. Meanwhile, in the game, it can barely scratch tanks. The one specific thing Blade was supposed to do. If I were to buff Genji, change 50, 100 of his health to armor, give him infinite shuriken ammo, increase projectile speed, but slow down the rate he can throw the next set of shurikens. Interesting. Make Dragon Blade do more damage to enemies with armor. Oh boy. So, look, I'll give you one thing. I did heart your comment. So, I'll give you one thing. I like that the ideas are different, right? Because I don't want to just always see everybody throwing in the same things. So, you get a thumbs up for a unique idea. That's all I'll say. I like this will make him like a raid boss. Like, this will make him super raid bossy. But I will say one thing. I do think that it's a bit silly that Genji has no way to kind of sustain himself while most other flankers do. Right? So I will say that. And sorry if you heard my cat in the background. Okay, so last few comments and we're going to wrap it up. So In a Day of Glory says, Genji mains are the ones who don't complain a lot but have a right to, and I respect that. I would say we don't complain. We definitely do our best to provide constructive criticism about the character because we really want him to feel better. One of the most mechanically demanding heroes should be meta, if not always, but at least half of the time you're not doing. Yes, sir, you're doing a great job. Keep it that way. And if you get damage buff, please don't one tap me in point blank. That's broken. Feels like it's better when in Overwatch playable characters are in pairing with one another. I agree. In a Day of Glory, thumbs up. So, bunch of other comments. I'm gonna slide in some of the more shorter ones. So Genji is a hero who specializes in punishing mistakes. That is very true. But right now it's a bit harder to do that. So you go on to say, unfortunately, in current Overwatch, mistakes are unpunishable. True. I would say I wouldn't say they're unpunishable, but they're definitely much harder to punish now than ever before. And it's really, really saddening. It's really, really saddening. So is this a longer comment? It is. I will read it. Like, again, I feel bad. Like, I want to slide in everybody, but I understand, like, people tend to click off. But again, if you're, like, I need your guys' feedback. If you're enjoying this longer form of content, me reading out these comments, discussing it, giving my feedback, and then continuing the Opinion Watch series, remember, it's a community-led series. Like, I have to hear from you guys what you think, right? So if you enjoyed this type of content, I'll definitely do more and slide more of this in. And we can also do this on live stream. So I think it'll be fun doing it like that, dividing it between two different, areas. So, TLDR, randomly played Genji, fell in love with the kit, love his lore, buff shuriken damage, he'll be great. Our style of Genji was super cool from the Dragon's animation. Never played him in Overwatch 1, aside from Genji Ball. I didn't get how to play his kit. Picked up the character at the beginning of the summer when I was trying characters I didn't play, fell in love with the kit. Overall, including that, love his skill expression. Most matchups feel like I actually outplay the other person. And then you feel like you can play better if I die to them. Yeah, that's something that feels really good about the character. I agree. Also, being able to kill supposed hard counters because I changed my playstyle to be satisfying. I agree. I feel like a lot of people don't understand that Genji is one of the characters that I wouldn't necessarily say has a hard counter because you can adjust your playstyle to play against them. That includes Winston, Moira, and you can definitely play against them if you're good enough, right? Transitioning into his balance, I'm a mid-plat console player, and I think Genji's mostly fine right now. He definitely struggles against armor so many times I don't shoot at tanks unless I can help confirm the kill or I have no squishes to kill. Basically sucks against armor. I really think Genji only needs a small buff to be strong. I agree. I don't want to tip him over the edge just to mega nerf him. Exactly, I agree. So that's kind of why I don't want to break Genji either, because Blizzard will just gutter him 2 weeks later. So for a buff, I think he needs a simple damage buff to 28 on shurikens would be best and would make him great. Or, this is insane, thought of it after raging at a failed blade. Cooldown on Swift Strike is lower during Blade, similar to Winston Jump in Primal. Ooh, I think that would be maybe broken. I think that would definitely make Blade broken. However, they could do that if they made dash in Blade weaker. I think that would be an interesting way to mess around with Blade as well. So good idea, very interesting. Like I use Blade similar to Pulse Bomb because I know each Blade's not going to be a big 5k and I feel like my Blades get shut down a lot. I look super. No, but don't worry about it. Like you like nowadays you're meant to use it like a Pulse Bomb. You're not meant to go for the big plays anymore. That is like there are moments where you can, and areas in a map where you can do that, but it's way too hard now. You are using it as just an additional tool to do damage, like Tracer's Pulse Bomb, right? You're just using it for that, like, okay, I need to secure the skill, open up the fight. So that's all you should be using it for, and try to use it to get at least one support. I understand the skill aspect of looking out for cooldowns and tracking else, I do, but I never find the perfect moment. I have to force blade sometimes. I completely feel you over here, my guy. The reason for my proposed alt buff is so I'm able to dash away in case of counter ults or whatever, or dash further in to get that last struggling Moira that's out of range. Man, so this is something that we don't talk about enough. Like the mobility creep has hurt Genji's blade a lot too, right? Like, just forget immortalities and all the crazy healing, but mobility creep has really hurt him as well. So I just hate being left swinging at nothing. Any tips would be appreciated. Love the video and idea. So you also said, and I slowly back in with the flick. I don't think this was necessary, just to get you a wet dream. Okay. So I believe I gave my commentary as I was reading everything. Really fun ideas. Love reading all these passionate comments. This is really fun. Kitten Catapult. Guys. Oh my god, y'all are so passionate. I feel so bad. Okay, so we're gonna read one more shorter one, and then the rest I'm gonna try and squeeze in a live stream, because I feel a little bit bad, but in case you feel like your opinion and things like that have been heard throughout other comments, then I've already covered it. So Buff Genji, okay, Buff Genji, like, what is this? This is so huge. Okay, all right, hold on. There's so much going on. Okay, Solzek says, so from what I've noticed is that Genji, even in low elos, requires you to play ultra sweaty to make him work. This is very true. It's not particularly fun to go against someone trying so hard, but I imagine it's not fun for Genji either to have to put in so much effort into diming someone when other characters can do it better for less effort. Very true, thank you. Heck, even as a Junkrat main, I feel like he's an easier time diving Genji than... as a Junkrat main, I feel like he has an easier time diving than Genji does, and Junk isn't even designed to be a dive hero. That's actually very true. Honestly, I'm not sure what they could do to help him. I've talked about it, so don't worry about it. Increasing shuriken damage and reducing HP could help. Yeah, this is pretty much where I'm leaning right now. And it's probably the most obvious solution, exactly. But we know now the devs likely won't go that route with this type of Genji. True. Okay, I will slide in Buff Genji. I see him around on the channel a lot, and he has a sick icon. So... I will slide in this long ass comment, and we'll go from here. Okay, I have really fast reading skills, so I'm just gonna scrim through this. Okay, well, there's a TLDR, so I don't need to skim through it, but TLDR says increase shuriken damage, make blade no longer damage boostable, increase blade damage to allow for a 2-swing kill. So I'll just read this and then we're gonna end the video, guys. So Genji was complained about back in season 1 due to Nanoblade being very strong and having a good neutral, and that topping it off with the speed boot passive helped Genji more than any other hero in the game. Exactly. So I actually covered this in a video way back then when I first started to make my rant content. If you guys have not seen it, let me know and I'll link it in the comment section below. After season 1, they removed the speed boost from the passive, decreased the shuriken damage 1 by 1, but by 2, I agree, and reduced his max by 6. He was awful for a couple of months. Okay, so you're kind of going through the history lesson here. Buff Genji, don't take it, offensively. I'm gonna just, get through it because I need to wrap up the video. Fast forward to season 9, he loses the Nanoblade Dash Slice combo, the defining factor in what made him good with Ana. Raw Blade can no longer kill 95% of the cast. This is true. Then to top it off, nerfing his burst damage, Genji was literally built upon get in, quickly get a kill, then get out. He cannot do that either. So his neutral got significantly worse and Raw Blade became worse, and yeah, pretty much everything about him got worse, so I agree with you there. What's the solution? If you saw my name, you'd guess it. First off, drop his HP to 225. Everybody agrees with this. He fits that category perfectly as a mobile hero, and this would make him more punishable, but open up more lethality. First, I'd address the issue of his neutral. He's a very high skill hero that just simply doesn't get rewarded for it like other characters. Increasing shuriken damage to 28 would be okay. Still less than season 1, but should make his neutral feel better. I agree. 29 would be, yeah, okay, so the same things that we've been talking about. Then increase the blade damage by 20, allowing for 2-swing kills again on 250 HP heroes. That sounds strong. Remember that Raw Blade was still bad back in season 9 when it could 2-swing, so combining it with a faster swimming speed, Raw Blade would finally be in a good spot. Just remember, 11 heals would keep you alive from a 2-swing kill. There still is much more to talk about, but like with his interaction with beam heroes, that can wait. That's a very fun way to end it. If you read to the end, okay, I somewhat read to the end, but I do get what you were trying to say. You made my dreams come true. Now sub to my YT. You know what? I'm a sub to you. I'm a sub to you for that. I'm a sub to you. Put in quite a bit of effort. I'm gonna drop you the subscription after the video. Anyways, everybody, that's going to be it for this video. I'm deeply sorry if I've not gotten to your comment. I have read most of the comments in my free time. I just want to quickly cover some that are, you know, going on top. There's like various different ideas. There's also a lot of similarities between what everybody's saying. So I don't want to spend like a full hour going through and repeating myself. So for now, this is going to be it for Opinion Watch number 2. And the next is going to be community voted. Who would you like to see talked about next? We have 3 choices. We're going to talk about Junkrat, Hanzo, or Sombra. These are the 3 characters that people have been, you know, asking me to talk about. So in the comments of this video, I ask, have a vote, and in between, like under my pinned comment, let me know Sombra, Hanzo, or Junkrat, and we will get to that in the next Opinion Watch, which should be maybe day after tomorrow, because I am gonna do the patch notes tonight. So it's a double upload day, and then tomorrow we're going to talk about my honest thoughts on the patch notes and the season. So with that being said, see you in the next one.